Captain Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso, the youngest president in Africa, has sent 265 trucks full of basic needs for the people of Niger. Now, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa. So I am here to update you what's happening in Niger. So Captain Ibrahim Traore, or president of Burkina Faso, really has proven to be the real Pan-African leader in the continent. He has been there for the people of Niger ever since the sanctions has been imposed against Niger by ECOWAS, the so-called international community, by France, also by the US, European Union, World Bank. All these have ganged up against Niger, but Burkina Faso and Mali have stood with Niger, saying that any military intervention will be a declare of war against Mali and Burkina Faso, and they have even pledged to send their troops to Burkina Faso, to Niger. Now, the topic for today is, of course, the trucks that were sent, 265 trucks to Niger, because it has been almost since 26th of July, within the next few days, that ECOWAS has imposed sanction against Niger, because Niger is one of those 15 countries which is a member of ECOWAS. ECOWAS is, for those of you who don't know, it's an economic community of Western African states, and most of them used to be ex-French colonies. Now, this means the movement of people have been sanctioned, meaning banned. The trade, import and export, which is usually, they are connected. Most of these countries are connected by transport, and that has been also banned. As if it's not enough, what has been sanctioned, the European Union has denied the fund. France has denied the fund, the so-called aid. And then also the United States, as if that is not enough, by their own brothers and sisters, by ECOWAS, the sanction has been imposed. And of course, a lot of Niger is really natural, in terms of natural resources. It's a rich country, but it's a poor country because it has been deprived of its own resources by exploiters like France. Now, so these are the trucks. The trucks arrived guarded by the military of Burkina Faso, and when it arrived in Niamey, in the capital city of Niger, the trade minister has welcomed them, and he said this in his message. So the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Seydou Asman, was in Niamey to welcome them in Tillaberi Regional Customs Directorate to receive the trucks, which are various goods from Burkina Faso. Can you imagine just one country needs? Just pay attention. Burkina Faso itself is under sanction by ECOWAS. Burkina Faso itself is sanctioned by the African Union, sanctioned by the whole so-called international organization. So the intervention is part of the supply basic necessities initiated between the two neighbors, meaning Burkina Faso and Niger, in the face of what Niger face sanction by ECOWAS. So this is not the first time. So this was sent on September 13 or 12. I think on September 13. But already back in August, when the sanction was imposed, was it in July 27 or 28? The coup happened on the 26th, and immediately they have sent. This was the first batch. This is around 300 trucks. This is a military truck of Burkina Faso in front of the trucks, so guarding them, because there was a military tension between the ECOWAS states, those who said that they will apply military intervention against Niger. So they have guarded it, and this is when it arrived. So this is the first installment, which happened August 3, actually. Now, around 300 trucks as well. Now, this is the second installment that arrived on September 13, around 265 trucks. This is what we call to live a life being a brother's keeper, being a keeper of your people, because they share a lot. These two countries share a lot. There are same tribes living between the two countries. There's the same religions that they follow. There's a lot of things, and also they used to cross borders still. I mean, Burkina Faso and Niger are, of course, a friendly country, and they do share, and the movement of people is not banned. So now, I just want to tell you, this is, of course, the first batch of the installment that Burkina Faso has sent. Mali and Burkina Faso, now this aid from Burkina Faso as you know, it comes amid the sanction that is imposed against Niger by a number of by multilateral organizations and states, including their own continent, Africa, and their own region, also ECOWAS. But these two leaders. One is Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. The other one is Assimi Goïta, which both are actually under 40 years, by the way, has stood with Burkina Faso, and they said they will contribute troops to defend Niger. And then also they have said it's consider it as a war against also their own countries. Now, they released at that time this statement defending Niger, that they will stand by Niger. And this man was not really afraid, as many of you may have come across his speech, really, which was viral during the Russia-Africa summit, where he said, to the elders, as you know, African leaders, it's like divided by two. There are those elders and there are the younger generations, the like of Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, and others, these revolutionary leaders. So he was asking for Africa, we should free ourselves from this economic exploitation that has been imposed or is going on by their former colonizers. And he really put a real message to the African Union. The African Union has banned Burkina Faso, has banned Mali, has banned now Niger, and then now Gabon, because of the coup that's happening. But we call it a coup because for the lack of a better word, but it's a revolution. What's happening is revolution. So ever since that revolution broke out, these countries have been banned. That means that there's a lot of things they could have access through the African Union, that African Union could have come, their voice could have been it could have been their voice, but that is denied. And also the regional bloc, which is ECOWAS, the Western African bloc. Now, not only the Mali and Burkina Faso have said that they will defend Niger if military intervention happens, they also sent Niger warplanes, for Niger to defend itself. Now, also another country which you don't hear that much is Algeria. Algeria also stood by Niger, saying that it will not allow its airspace if any military intervention. Actually, the news came out, the headline was running that Algeria refused for France refusing for its airspace to be used to attack Niger. That's how the news came out. So Algeria is also another country who is standing by Niger. Now, let's talk about, these are the things Ibrahim Traore has been, so far a brother's keeper. He has been really supporting the people of Niger. But when the rest of the world sanctioning still Niger, let's start from their own, from the regional bloc itself, from ECOWAS member states. Now, Nigeria, a lot of Niger, you have to know, it's according to the data, it's the second poorest country in the world, but they are rich with their with the natural resources. Now, Nigeria has cut power. Okay, it's amid all this. The sanction is going on, has cut power already. The country do not have 80% of the population lives in darkness, while their uranium lit up the whole France and most of Europe. And that power even has been cut by Nigeria. It just to get familiarized, this is Niger. It's a landlocked country, so in its surrounding, in its surrounding, you see, up on the north, Algeria, there is Mali, Burkina Faso. To the south, there is Nigeria. Now, the sanction itself, it's funny. It didn't serve the purpose of the intention when these ECOWAS member states have laid the sanction against Niger. If we just look at what happened to Nigeria, the air flight, I mean, it has sent that sanction, Nigeria has sanctioned itself, really, to put it in a simple term, because now a lot of, import and export through truck that were happening before the sanctions, that has been stopped. And also, they're not only sanctioning the people in Niger, they are also, what they are doing is, those truck drivers, who have been involved on the daily trade and business between Niger and the rest of the Western African countries or surrounding it, has been also impacted by this sanction, because work now, their work, which they have been able to feed their family, have been stopped. Now, let's talk about only Nigeria. The air cost, the travel cost, the flights that has been from Nigeria to Europe and vice versa, have been forced to reroute the flights, which became very costly for the airlines who are operating in Nigeria. So that is really one of the downside of the sanction for Nigeria. So I made here at Connect Africa, we made a video that says who sanctioned who actually, and we really have reported about this. Yeah, so as far as sanction is concerned, this is what Niger is facing. So it's amid all this that the aid from, at least with the basic needs for the people, Captain Ibrahim Traore has sent to Niger. It's not only this. When ECOWAS has imposed that sanction, they have been denied also their transaction with financial institution, because they used to share this ECOWAS member states. So Niger has been also banned from that, and then their asset has been frozen, meaning the military leaders and their family as well. It's it's interesting just to reflect. If it's all about the humanitarian aid, then there's no need really to cut that fund. This goes to for the so-called international community. If it's about the people in the first place, there was no need to cut that aid from Niger, because now what they are telling us is, in the name of humanitarian intervention, they want to come to Niger, and through humanitarian intervention, we have seen a lot of things happening. It's like war by itself. Okay, why do you stop it in the first place if it's about the people? That means it was about the leaders who are, promise something behind the scene without making it public. Okay, if we give you this little money, then you can do this for us, or you keep your mouth shut while we keep on extracting your natural resource. So when that errand boy leader is gone, then you come and cut your aid. I mean, then it wasn't about the people in the first place. So it's the double standard, the hypocrisy of those international community organizations. Yeah, so it's really sad what is happening. It's a false aid for Niger. Now the international community has been quiet, okay, when France has been exploiting the country for so long. Natural resources, and natural resources that where Niger could have used it for to develop its own people and its economy, but the international community has been quite now when this happens. They talk about humanitarian intervention and humanitarian aid crisis. That's really very, very hypocrisy of the international community. That was it for today. I just wanted to bring you this news regarding, that we also have touched. I also have touched it yesterday, but what the message that I wanted I wanted you to get is that these leaders who are being brothers keeper when a country is in a problem, when a country is alienated by the rest of the world, including the African Union itself, for this neighboring country to come up and say, okay, here we are, we will send you, we're gonna send you this, the people can't survive. That means a lot. And appreciation has to be given, credit has to be given to those kind of leaders. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much, and bye bye.